Assalamu alaikum, kia ora and hello. My name is Nafisa and I'm a community psychologist. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about diaphragmatic breathing, which is also known as belly breathing. Today's video has 4 objectives. The first one is to explain what belly breathing is and its purpose. Secondly, I'll be sharing some of the benefits of using belly breathing. I will then provide a couple of demonstrations of how you can get started with belly breathing. And lastly, I'll be sharing some tips of how you can incorporate belly breathing into your daily routines and rituals. So let's talk about what belly breathing is and its purpose. Think of belly breathing as breathing with intent. So belly breathing is intended to use your diaphragm, which is this part of your body here, just below the chest. And it's about using this part in the correct manner so that you are breathing properly. Proper breathing starts from our nose, where we breathe in air and we inhale it, which then goes to our stomach. While we are doing this, the belly will expand and you'll notice your lungs filling up with air. The goal of belly breathing is to increase your oxygen intake and allow the diaphragm to get really involved. So breathing is an essential part of living. We all know that when we are stressed or in situations where there's a lot of anxiety or things that are out of our control, we can very quickly start to feel overwhelmed. And when we get those strong feelings, our breathing is affected, and the way we breathe can have a significant impact on how we then manage ourselves in those situations. So when we breathe in, we're breathing in oxygen, and that's through our nose often, and then we exhale carbon dioxide through our mouth. Having a good balance of both oxygen and carbon dioxide is key in ensuring that we're breathing properly. And when we're breathing properly, it means that we're able to tackle those really stressful situations in the best way possible. So when we feel anxious or stressed and are in situations where we feel overwhelmed, it can create an imbalance in our oxygen and carbon dioxide levels because we start to breathe differently. So we might begin to breathe anxiously or engage in shallow breathing where we're just using the top half of our body to breathe. And when we start to breathe like that, it's not helpful because then we might experience other physical sensations such as feeling lightheaded or feeling dizzy. Our heart rate may increase as well, and just makes everything a bit more trickier to deal with because we're not in our best form. So when we have to regulate our breathing so that there's a bit more balance, there's 2 things that you should focus on. The first one is looking at how fast you're breathing and how deeply you breathe. These 2 factors is what can help us regulate and bring a bit of balance into our breathing. So let's now have a quick look at some of the benefits of belly breathing. So for someone who regularly engages in belly breathing, they might experience things like reduction in blood pressure. It can reduce their heart rate as well, which can be helpful, especially when you're in a situation where you're feeling very overwhelmed and stressed, and the heart might be racing, and you're noticing your blood pressure piping up too. So belly breathing can really help deal with those situations and those symptoms. Overall, there's going to be an increase in supply of oxygen to the blood and also to different parts of the body. So the bones and the muscles are now going to have a bit more oxygen flowing in. So you're going to be really able to be in your best form when you're tackling these stressful or anxiety-provoking situations. Another helpful benefit is that it helps to reduce muscle tension and provide some relief. So different people will often carry their stress or their anxiety in different parts of their body, and so engaging in belly breathing can really relieve some muscle tension in those areas so that you're feeling a bit more comfortable and in touch with your body and in your best form again. So now I'm going to talk to you about a few specific skills or strategies that you can use to help you use your diaphragm or engage in belly breathing so that when you are in a stressful situation and feeling anxious and overwhelmed, you can use these skills to help you so that you are not continuing with creating a imbalance with your oxygen and carbon dioxide levels, but you're actually going to switch things up and bring yourself to more balance. Okay, so the first technique is called the calming technique. Now, we do know that the normal rate of breathing is about 10 to 12 breaths per minute, so that's something to sort of keep in the back of your mind to get a gauge of how well you're doing. So keeping that in mind, let's first look at the calming technique. So the calming technique is designed to support people when they're feeling stressed and anxious who might be over breathing. Okay, so it's about gaining control over your breathing by slowing your rate of breathing and changing your breathing style. Okay, so with practice, it's hoping to help you develop a better breathing habit. So the first thing I'd like you to do is to sit in a comfortable position. So sit in a chair or, sit on the side of a bed, somewhere comfortable, or, if sitting is not comfortable, feel free to lay on a bed. And I'd like you to just place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly, so on your diaphragm. And you're not going to force anything. You're just going to notice your hands rising and falling as you breathe in and out. So again, not forcing anything. You're not forcing yourself to breathe. You're just bringing your attention to your hands very gently and just noticing them rising and falling. If it's helpful, feel welcome to close your eyes. Okay? Now you'll notice that when you first try to change your breathing, it can be quite challenging because you'll become hyper aware of what you're doing. So I want you to acknowledge that it's difficult to slow the breathing down, especially when we're stressed. So just being gentle with yourself and kind and giving yourself enough time just to notice your breath. Okay? Now, once we've sort of noticed the breath, bring your attention to your nose and notice the air being inhaled through your nose and moving down to your tummy. Notice how you breathe out through your mouth and noticing the air being pushed through your lips. So as you're breathing in, you'll notice that your tummy will be pushed out. And when you breathe out, your tummy will contract. And again, if you feel like it's not doing that, it's okay. Remember, we're trying to develop a better breathing style and a better breathing habit when you're stressed, and it's difficult to slow down your rate of breathing when you are in those situations. So just giving time. Notice how your hands are rising and falling, and notice how the tummy is expanding and contracting, just like your lungs. So once you've spent a bit of time acknowledging your breath, the second part of the calming technique is giving count to your breaths. So while you're sitting there in your comfortable position, whatever that might be for you, I want you to take a breath for 4 seconds in through your nose if possible. Okay? So counting up to 4, taking a deep breath through your nose. So for the purpose of the exercise, I'm going to be talking and you'll be breathing. So ready? We're going to breathe in through our nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Good job. Okay. So now what we're going to try and do is when I count up to 4 and you breathe in through your nose, I want you to breathe in up to 4 counts, as we did before. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hold for 2 seconds. So hold, 1, 2, and then when you release your breath through your mouth, I'd like you to take 6 seconds in doing that. So it's going to be breathing in for 4, hold for 2, release for 6. Okay, so doing that ever gently, okay, and it takes practice, so be patient with yourself, remember, be kind, and we'll get into that rhythm, okay, so let's try that. Okay, so it's taking a seat on your chair in a comfortable position, breathe in through your nose, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold for 2, out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the point of that and those counts are that the inward breath should be shorter than the outward breath. So breathing out through your mouth should be longer. And a nice way to visualize that or get that idea if you're struggling with that calming technique is to think of a birthday candle. So if I grab my pen here and imagine that's a candle, I want you to imagine blowing that candle out with a slow, steady stream. So you're going to breathe in through your nose, hold, and then breathe out. So 1, 2, 3, breathe in. Okay, so it's a longer outward breath, and you can make this breathing skill, personalize it, and so it fits your faith or fits with your belief system and who you are as a person. So you could choose 2 words that are meaningful to you and attach that to the inward breath and the outward breath. So for example, if I was in a really stressful situation and I was standing and I was sitting and I felt that I could just, I just needed to calm down and do a bit of my breathing, I could say, well, I'm going to breathe in courage and I'm going to breathe out strength. So breathing in courage, hold, breathe out strength. Again, breathing in courage, hold, breathe out strength. So you can change it up. You could use that example, breathing in courage, breathing out strength, or you could breathe in courage and breathe out stress. You can make it faith-based if that's something that you would find useful. So, for example, you could breathe in Allah and breathe out Hu. So Allahu, you know, and that can be a really beautiful way and a really powerful way for you to de-stress and have a bit of belly breathing going on for you. So there's no right or wrong answer in terms of what words you use or what messages you incorporate into your belly breathing. Remember, it's for you, so you by all means can change it to suit your needs. So just drawing to a close to the video now around breathing exercises. We've talked about belly breathing and the purpose of it, and how it has the overall aim to help us develop a better breathing habit when we're stressed or overwhelmed. I just wanted to share some further tips on how you could incorporate this into your daily living routine. So, you know, you could do this while you're waiting at the bus stop or while you're taking a walk around the block. You could do this anywhere so long as you have the space to, and you feel that you can mentally be able to focus on the breath and block out sounds or any other distractions that might be in the way. So a nice way of for us Muslims who would like to incorporate belly breathing into our daily routines, we could do that after salat. So a lot of people will often sit and make dua after salat, and you could definitely spend a couple of minutes doing your belly breathing this way. I did mention how you could attach words or religious messages or religious words as well with the inward and outward breath. So you could sit on your prayer mat and do that. So you could breathe in Allah and breathe out Hu, and just focusing on having a longer outward breath. You could do this while you're watching TV or you know, when you're minding the children. You know, you could sit and do that while they're playing in the park. So, you know, I wish you well with the breathing exercises. Remember, there were 2 that were shared today. You could use the calming technique, which is the counts. So, you know, breathing in 4, holding for 2, and letting out 6 counts. Or you could visualize the birthday candle and just breathing in through your nose and blowing that candle out. So, you know, change it up, pick what works for you, and inshallah, when you find yourself in those very stressful and overwhelming situations, these little tips can help you through these situations and get you through. So, Khudafiz from me. I wish you well, and inshallah, we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.